Hello, Shalom Aloha, Talofa. Welcome to the Capital Taxis tutorial on how to use the driver app. Okay, you can see here we've got two apps, or two icons that look exactly the same, but one is the driver app and the other one is not. The other one is a passenger app, and the passenger app is for passengers to download and use to order taxis directly from their phone. And so it'll bypass the office. Just ignore the green stuff in the background. That just means we're in the matrix. Alright, so the Capital Taxis driver app. There's some people that don't know how to use the driver app, and they don't know how to use, tech. The tech of today, especially the older people. So just gonna try and make it as simple as possible. So in order to open the app, I've noticed some drivers, they try and push it really hard, or others try and hold it for a long time to try and make it open. But you just need to tap on it lightly, and it's just the icon there. You just tap on it lightly. It's just a split second. Just tap with your finger, and it'll open it up. You don't need to push it hard. You don't need to try and hold it for 30 seconds or whatever. You just tap, it'll open just like that. Right, so when you open it up, it'll come to the screen here, and by default it'll open up the keyboard, which you don't need, because it should already have a username and password in there. If there's an issue with that, just give me a call and I'll help you out. But just click a button on your phone just to get rid of the keyboard, and you should see a sign in button there. So you just click on that where it says sign in there, just tap it, and then that'll open up the app and sign you in. And this is the basic user interface for our app. At the moment there's no jobs there, but I'll put a job in later and we'll see how that works. So right now we're in the orders screen. So you see orders on the left hand side there. This button here, oops, it's not working. Why is that? Oh, sorry. Okay. So the orders button, where we are now, there's nothing here. It's just a blank screen, but once jobs come up, it'll come up in there and you'll see it. The maps button on the right hand side, just there, you just tap on that word map, and that'll bring up the map of the world, and you can have a look around, and you can zoom into where we are in Wellington, and yeah, if there are any jobs, it'll come up, it'll show the jobs there with some little drop down flags that it'll pinpoint exactly where the jobs are that are available. There's nothing there at the moment. So the other button is the later button, this one. So we're going to tap on that, and again you don't see anything there because we haven't put any jobs up. But yeah, if there's any, that's basically for bookings or forwards that are going to come up for later on, and we'll just list them there, then people can log on and have a look and see what jobs are available. Next one we're going to look at is the status button. That little guy there, that's the status button, and when you tap that, that'll change your available status. So at the moment we're available for work. Once we tap on it, it's going to change the status, and it means once we're on this screen, it means we're not available for work. We're busy. And this is for if we had the virtual meter set up, and we had a per kilometer tariff set up on here, then when you drive along, it'll show the tariff, and the meter will be clicking over. But we don't have that because we have a physical meter in the taxis already, so we don't need this one. Yeah, but when you're on the screen, it means you're not available for work. You can't accept any jobs. You won't see any jobs coming up. And yeah, this screen is basically useless for us right now, unless we set up the virtual meter later on, which we may look at doing. But if you find yourself on the screen, you just tap back on this little guy up the top there. You just tap that, and that will bring you back to the main screen again. And you're back on here, and means you're available for work again. Okay, the next button is the zones button. Right there, that zones button, let's tap on that. And you can see here we have 7 zones. The first zone is highlighted in blue, and it's got the word Miramar there. But it doesn't just cover Miramar, it actually covers the airport, Moa Point, all of Karaka Bay, Shelley Bay, all of that area. So zone 1 is basically that whole end there on the island. And any jobs come up there, that's zone 1. So when you're driving around the city, it will automatically log you into the other zones. So if we were to drive to Kilbirnie, then Kilbirnie would highlight blue, and the Miramar zone would go to black, and that would mean that you were then logged into the Kilbirnie zone. The number 1, you see that where the drivers is? That means that there's one driver in the zone before you. So there's already someone in the zone, and if a job gets sent to zone 1, then that driver that's already there is going to get it first. Once that driver gets the job, or if that driver moves out of the zone, then it'll go to 0, and it'll mean that there's no one else there in front of you, and you'll be the first one to get a job if a job gets sent to zone 1. The estimated time on the right hand side where it says 223, you don't need to worry about that. That's just something the developers are working on to try and estimate how much time until a job comes, but it doesn't really affect us at all, so just ignore that for now. In the future we're going to have more zones. We're going to redo the zones so they're a bit more effective, and we're going to include the other areas like Lower Hutt, Upper Hutt, Porirua, but at the moment the zones that are covered are just Wellington City. Okay, so there's no back button on this screen, so in order to get out of this screen you have to tap the back button on your phone or on your device, and then they'll bring you back to the main screen here. The other button you need to know is the log off button, which is these little guys here. So you just click on those 3 dots, and that'll bring up log out, and then you tap log out to log out of the app. And now you've finished your you're no longer logged into the system. Alright, so you need to log out when you finish work. Make sure you log in when you start and log off when you finish. Alright, so let's go and send a job. So I'll show you how that works. I'm just signing back in now. And like I said before, you'll see the zone button coming up in a second. There it is. So once the app connects to the net, it'll come up with a zone button. So if we tap on the zone button, we can see in zone 1 there's one person there already. So okay, so let's go back, and I'll send a job to zone 1. So let's send a job to zone 1, sending now from the airport. Okay, so it should, after 15 seconds, it'll come to me because there's already someone in there, so the job is being sent to him at the moment. And then it should be, once he doesn't accept it, it'll be here in a few seconds. And then when it does, it'll be red. And it'll make that sound as well. And so while it's red, it means that you're the only one that has access to this job, and I have to click on it to accept it before anybody else accepts it, and before this passes on to anyone else. So if I wait more than 15 seconds, then it will change color like it did just then, and now it's being sent out to other people and they can accept the job. So if I tap on it and then tap on accept request down the bottom, just there, and then I have to tap on that, and then I tap on the on how long it's going to take for me to get there, which I'll show you in a second. But if you see here, it's got all the information for the job. It's got John Key, it's got his phone number there. Don't ring that number, you might get in trouble. There's airport, going to number 1, the terrace, and just a comment there on the job. I put this is not a real job, but could be something like go up the drive, or this is set fare, or something like that. Alright, and also there's a distance here of 9.7 kilometers, so once we put in the pickup address and the destination, then it'll tell you exactly how long it will be for you to get there. It'll tell you the distance. Okay, so let's accept the request. Let's tap on accept request, and it'll come up with the arrival time, which is how long it's going to take for you to get there. Let's say 5 minutes. I'll tap on 5 minutes. Okay, and oh, it's gone, zero service error occurred. Hold on a second. Alright, okay, so what's happened is I've just checked, and someone's actually, because I waited too long and the job got sent out to other people, someone's actually accepted the job, and I've just had to tell them it's not a real job. And so that's what happens. It'll come up with general error, or it'll say something like, it might say that job is no longer available. Well, that's what it should say. And once it does that, it means you can't accept the job, because if you try and go to it, because someone else has already accepted it, so you can't go and do the job once it says that. So it just means that, well, I have to go back to the previous screen, so I just click the back button, and then it'll take me back to the last screen, and you can see there's no job there because someone else has already taken it. So I'll send another job again, and this time when it turns red, I'll accept it before somebody else does. Alright, so I've set up another job here. Okay, let's try again. Okay, we're sending the job. It's a pickup from the airport. Sending now, so someone has got the job. Let's see, it's in zone 1. Okay, yeah, there's already another car there in zone 1 before me, so I'll get it in a couple of seconds, and it should be red, which means that I'm the only one that has access to the job. So here we go, so I'm going to tap on it and accept it before somebody else does. So I'm going to accept request down the bottom, and then let's say 3 minutes. So it's going to take me 3 minutes to get there, and then once I get there, it'll point exactly to where the pickup point is, and it's got all the information for the job here. So now that I'm on this screen, it means I've accepted the job and no one else can accept it, so it means I have the job now. You can see here I'm picking up Obama from the airport here, and I'm taking him to Molesworth Street there. So it's going A and B. I'm taking him to the Beehive, and the pickup time is 5 AM. Alright. The other function here is that we're not using is the phone function here. That, oops, I just colored it all in. It's just that little round icon, which is the phone icon, and if we were to use that, it would mean you can just, well, we could set up the phone number. You could just tap on that button, and it would have the phone number there, and you could just ring the customer straight away. But we're not using that because NZT have said we're not allowed to have the you're not allowed to make phone calls from this device. It has to be dedicated, so we're not using that function. And again, if we had the per kilometer rate set up, it would have the price there. It would calculate it by the distance on the left hand side there. So let's click on taxi arrived down the bottom, which is which after we've arrived at the airport and we're there waiting, we'll just click on that. Alright, now sending a request to the server to say that we've arrived at the pickup point, and you can see here we're just got the pickup point, and now it's showing the destination as well as a flag there, and so it'll show exactly where you're going to. So if you're not sure of the address, then this is really good to help you out and show you exactly where you're going. Alright, so when you get there, you click client picked up down the bottom, or if the client didn't pick up or didn't arrive, you just click client did not appear. Alright, so let's click on client picked up. So, and then it'll send a message. It'll let the operators know that you have picked up the passenger and you're on your way to the destination. And on this screen, it's a bit funny because it's actually a bit bigger than the screen is. So you got to scroll, which is for older people. If you don't know how to do that, you just put your finger on the screen, and you can move it up, or you can move it down, and then it will move the screen around like that. And so you need to move it up so that you can see the bottom at the button at the bottom, which says client delivered. Alright, and so when you get to the end where the flag is there, then you click on client delivered down the bottom, and then that means you finished the job. You've already taken the customer and delivered them to the oops, let's do that again. Client delivered. So now we've finished the job, and it should bring us back to the main screen, which it's not doing. Why is it not doing that? Order is not active. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to bring us back here. Seems like there's still a few bugs on the app, but it's actually working okay. There are going to be some updates in the future for some other functions, and there's this side here which we don't need, but you can, if you click on archive, you can have a look at all the jobs you've done, and settings. You can set what the radius is for accepting jobs. And that's basically it. Yeah, so any other questions, just give me a call and I'll help you out. Alright, thanks.